Okay, we're live. It's Saturday and people are probably watching sports ball or something stupid like that. And I may have accidentally killed John Cenacorn. He's dead, so there's that. Kevin wasn't able to make it for this live stream because he's a bitch, but whatever. I've got pointy shaped boards back there, so, you know, got that going on. As always, we got a few things going on with Angry. Most notably, the merchandise has come in, so we got Angry shirts. Angry shirts? Yeah, see? Yeah, I know some people have been stoked about the idea of that. We even did some funny ass shit, which is really weird, so got that too. Chairlift and chill for all you guys. And I brought back the OG logo right here. So got that going on, and yeah. Do people actually watch sports on Saturday? Is that college football day? I don't even know. So, and can everyone hear me? Can everyone hear me? Is anyone out there? Oh well, we'll see how that goes from here. And other things going on. Got to give a eulogy to my camera because it decided to die. Yeah, so after like 50,000 shutter counts, this thing basically just shit the bed on me in the middle of the product review series. So that kind of sucked. I couldn't believe that that actually happened, but fried that. $1,800 later, I've got a Canon A30 coming in about another week. So we'll be shooting video 100%, which is always a good thing. What else is going on? Looks like some of the Patreon guys have given me some questions that they want answered. How's everyone that's out there watching right now? Anyone? Vila? Okay. Yeah. Perfect. Well, you're on the shitter. You're a captive audience right now. So got that going for me. Yeah, so anyways, we're about a week away from the start of snowboard season here in Colorado, which means we're about 4 weeks away from me getting more product into review, which gives me 3 weeks to finish all the product reviews. And as I already mentioned, the camera for Angry shit the bed the other day, so I'm on a loaner camera for another week until my new one shows up. This thing's seen some shit in its days. Dropped it a lot. It's been hit by a few snowboarders. Might have been attacked by a dog once or twice, but Rossignol paid for this actually. So shout out to Rossignol for being a sponsor. They're a really good snowboard company actually, I said that wrong. They're a snowboard company that's really good at selling skis. So if you need skis, I recommend Rossignol. Yeah, so they paid for this a couple years ago, basically by advertising with me. And it shit the bed, so I just bought a new Canon A30, so that's coming on. And oh shit, yeah, so anyways, that's what's going on. Now we're going to dive into some Patreon questions because I know that there's a bunch of you that really wanted some questions answered. I was hoping Kevin was going to be here for this question because it's right up his alley since he just bought a new War Pig in the extra small. But basically this is from Johnny Starling, and he asks, should smaller footed riders care about volume shift boards? Yes and no, because each one has a personality all its own, and there are vast size runs. I think the K2 Cool Bean now comes in a 138. So it's definitely smaller than that. I do know that when I was helping Marhar design the Lumberjack, people with like a size 9 would have an issue with that board just being really, really wide. Did I just... Did I freeze? Did I freeze? Because I should be live. Someone let me know if I froze. So I should be live. That's really weird. Connection might be shit right now. I'm not sure. Okay, I'm live. Alright, there's Ben, who thinks I write like a 12-year-old when I send him stickers from Sticker Club. Anyways, yes, okay, I'm good. What's up, Riley? Good, we're live. Anyways, yeah, back to the question at hand. Should smaller-footed riders be aware of volume shift boards? Yes and no. And the bigger thing that you need to look at is how the board is designed. Like with the Warpig, you've got 3 sizes. You have the extra small, and the large. Now, if you're like a size 9, you can get away with the small, but if you're a 7, you probably want to go with the extra small. Same thing with the Cool Bean, you would go with the 138 versus going with the 144 or the, is it a 148 in that too, I think now? I've got 3 sizes this year. I don't have my cheat sheet with me. But by and large, volume shifted boards, you shouldn't have to worry too much with them being too wide for your boot, unless you're like my friend Eric, who is a size 5 women's boot. He's like 190 pounds and 5'9" with a size 5 woman's foot. Yeah, so any board is a wide to him. But going with that, you really got to look at the characteristics of the board and how they relate to you and what you're trying to do. You don't want a board that's going to be just not have a good side cut, because that's the whole thing. Yeah, you're going to have more girth underfoot, and if the side cut is shit and you've got a small foot, you're not going to engage it as much. Same thing with the camber profile as well. If it's like a traditional camber or close to traditional camber, kind of like this K2 Simple Pleasures back here, and you've got a really small foot, you might have some issues with it. But by and large, guys with a size 9 foot that are kind of worried about these volume shifts shouldn't. I mean, Kevin is riding a Warpig small. I would ride a Warpig small. I've got a size 10, so obviously I'm a little bit bigger. But I know Marcus had some issues on the Lumberjack, and I think he's like an 8.5 or a 9 boot, give or take on the model. It's just one of those things that's like, you really got to read the specs, look at the side cut radius, as well as waist width and nose and tail width. And what I like to do, and what I tell people to do, is you take the nose or the tail width, especially if it's like a twin like the Lumberjack, and you subtract the waist width. And so you're going to get this number that's probably about like 2 to 4 centimeters, give or take. And then you divide that by 2, and then you add that back to the waist width, and that's roughly, I say this roughly because it's not accounting for the angle of the arc of the side cut radius in there, but that's roughly what the width of the board will be at the middle of the insert packs on there. So got that going on. And then let's see, what else we got going on. Oh, Matt B wanted to know my thoughts on the new Smokin Awesymetrical, because they're making it in camber, which is actually their TTX profile. If you look at their website now, they renamed their camber profiles, so they're calling it traditional camber. It's TTX. It's still TTX, which in my opinion was the better Smokin Awesymetrical. So if anyone's really looking for an asymmetrical all-mountain freestyle board, get the fucking cambered version of the Smokin Awesymetrical, because that board, hands down, rips turns, probably one of the best asymmetrical boards I've ever been on in my life. When they got rid of the TTX profile and went just to their WTF, which is reverse camber with camber underfoot, I pretty much cried, because that was really upsetting, because it's not as good of a camber profile for that type of board. So hopefully that answers Maddie B's question. Let's see, what else? Oh, JP asks, thoughts on the Springbreak Twin? That's another asymmetrical board, and that's one that's actually won an award from us in the past for being a dominant park board. That board's awesome as like a well-rounded board. It will not be the best in powder just due to the camber profile and that shovel tip. You get into heavy snow, and that thing does not bust through it. The corners of it actually catch heavy snow, so it slows you down, and you don't get as much float as you could from it. So there's that for JP. And if you have any more questions, JP, just send me an email, Avran at Angry Snowboarder, or just hit me up on the Patreon and I'll get that for you. The next question is from Stephen Wagner, who's asking about helmet advice. So the big thing with helmets, which I'm a huge proponent of helmets after 22 concussions, I'm the poster child for CTE. Basically, it's like boots. The best helmet is the one that fits your needs. But there's one caveat. You want to make sure that it's not a hard hat, that it's actually a certified helmet. So Sandbox for a while and Burn were doing hard hats, which that's great if someone's up on the roof and throwing shingles off and it hits you. Yeah, it probably won't kill you, but it's not going to be as safe as something that's a certified helmet. So you want to make sure that you actually have a certified helmet, and fit is the big thing. Like for me, ProTech and Giro are pretty much the only two that really fit me. And the final piece of advice I can give you on helmets, do not use a Ruroc, because you'd be a fucking moron if you do. I'm leaving it at that, and that company can go fuck itself. Alright, does anyone that's watching have a question? Otherwise, I'm going to dive into some more Patreon questions here, because I got a few more lurking around. So, yeah, I'm talking to you guys out there. Alright, well, you guys think about your questions. I mentioned earlier in the week when I was going to do the live stream that I would talk about 5 boards that every person should probably buy. So I'm going to give you the list right now. No particular order, I just wrote these down, but I think these are 5 great boards that people should consider buying if you're an everyman rider, someone that's going to have a quiver of one or a slightly specialized twinge towards what you're riding. So the Arbor Coda, because you can get it in rocker and camber, is one that I highly recommend. I had 3 of these boards when they were rocker. I've ridden it in camber. This is a great board for doing just about anything, whether you're in the park or if you're out free riding. And when you get into POW with it, the cutouts in the tip and the tail really funnel the snow back out to the side. So I recommend that. My second choice for a board for an everyman rider, the Jones Mind Expander. A lot of hype on this board this year. I'm backing it very hard. It's kind of an amalgamation of a few boards from Jones, and you can ride it on a groomer, you can ride it as a free ride board on firm days, and then when you get into POW, it just floats super well. You can feel the camber underfoot giving you spring where you need it, but it's not so aggressive that it actually hinders you or your riding ability. And I took it in the park, I'm not going to lie. I slid some rails with it, and it did okay. So there's that. And then my third board of choice, actually, to go back to the volume shift topic that we talked about earlier, the War Pig. This is a board that's super versatile for being one of those volume shift boards. If you want to go ride freestyle with it, you can. If you want to ride POW with it, you can. If you want to ride a groomer with it, you can. This board, between the camber profile, the flex pattern, the side cut, super versatile. It's a quiver of one volume shift board. There are others out there that try to do what it does. They don't do it as well. So the War Pig is another one that I would consider. For my fourth choice, the Signal Yup. Now, anyone that's followed angrysnowboarder.com knows how much I loved the Burton Branch Manager. So this board has channel, and if you look at it, like, I had so many people look at it and go, what Burton is that? It actually isn't, but the shape, it's made in China. It's not made in their Southern California factory. It's got the channel on it, and Billy Anderson, who worked at Burton, actually designed this board. So it's a slightly set back camber. You got a little rocker in your nose. You can ride this board all mountain. It's great in POW. It's great free riding. It's great for busting through chunder. It's just a fun board if you're cruising the mountain. And you can still take it in the park. You can straight air jumps. You can do tail presses, nose presses with it. Nose presses might be a little wonky. Just make sure you bring your A game with that. But that's another board. And you can actually put it side by side with the Branch Manager and see where it took a lot of design influence from it. And so since Burton doesn't make the Branch Manager anymore, if you really wanted one and you missed out on that, I strongly recommend that you guys check that one out. Finally, my fifth board of choice. This is a tie, and this should be no surprise because we've talked about this in just about every live stream. The Canoe Spam and the Dinosaurs Will Die Brewster. The shapes are great. They're like a twin directional, you know, so you look at it and you're like, holy fuck, it's not an asymmetrical twin. It's got this longer nose, and the Brewster has the powder pack on it, but camber dominant, and you can ride these boards just about anywhere from the park to the mountain. They're a great board. The Spam does only come in a 157, but if you're a smaller guy, they make a women's version in a 151. It's just softer flex and just, you know, it's just shrinked and a little more pinked, basically. So there's that. So those are 5 boards for the Everyman that I think you guys should be considering out there. Now I'm going to pull up my computer here and see what questions we got going on there. All right. Ooh, Nick Stoller. Any opinion on the 2018 Rossignol Angus? Yeah, it's the same board as the 2017 Rossignol Angus. It's also the same board as the 2016 Rossignol Angus. It really hasn't changed. It's still like a mid-wide camber rocker hybrid. So you got camber into rocker in the tip and the tail. It's got the roller on it, so it's like a 1-degree bevel all the way around it. And what that does is, what they claim it does is it's easier for edge-to-edge transmission, and the board won't hook up when you're sliding sideways on it. Well, yeah, that doesn't mean shit. It's just like a base bevel. It's fuck all. The board is actually a little bit stiffer of a flex than I think most people think about it, but it will break in after about 15 days. And you notice that with it, and it's just like that middle-of-the-road flex. It's kind of a versatile board for going anywhere. My old roommate Dylan actually rode that for 2 seasons. He rode, because he rides for Rossignol. He rode those for 2 seasons, and he only ended up breaking like 2 of them, and then he went to the Jib Saw HD, which was just, you know, a beefed-up Jib Saw. But it's, the way I look at it is, if you've got like a 10-foot and the Jib Saw is too soft for you, and the Jib Saw HD is too stiff for you, the Angus is the way you want to go. So that's kind of my thoughts on the Rossignol Angus. Let's see what else we got. Okay. Ooh, okay. Alex Hergen. Don't know if y'all talked about it yet, but what's your thoughts on those Burton step-in bindings? I remember that from back in the day it didn't go well. Okay, so this is another one that everyone keeps asking me about. I've talked to my local Burton rep, so has Kevin. We are getting 2 sets of these with boots. We will do a whole video with us on the hill. I am going to try to make these things jam up and not work. I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that they fail, because I want to see what it actually takes to make these fail. With that said, I know that pre-order just came out for these, and they're pretty much sold out everywhere. The way to look at this is how many people were riding the old Burton step-in system and it finally died and they needed something and now they're going to buy this. I don't know if this has lasting power. I look at it and it's designed well and it solves a lot of the problems that the old ones had, mainly with torsional give, how soles would rip off, how they engaged and everything, snow buildup. You know, Burton dumped a shitload of money into this, and they're actually not patenting. I don't think they're patenting the technology on the boots, or they're allowing for a license of it so other companies can get on it. I'm starting the rumor that Union is actually making a step-in binding, so if anyone wants to run with that, go with it. I'm just putting it out there. That's for George Kleckner and Johan over there. I like to fuck with them. So I'm starting a rumor that Union is starting a step-in binding. So got that going on. By and large, like for me as a rider, it doesn't make sense to me to need one like that. I ride 200 days a year. I can bend over. I can strap in. Now, if you have a physical impairment that impedes you bending at the waist, or arthritis, old age, shit like that, I think it makes sense. I think you're looking at those Gen Xers that are like a little bit in their 40s to 50s, or some of the like the last, what were they, the fucking hippies? Were they after the baby boomers? I don't know what generation they were. They're fucking dropout generation. Those guys are getting old and need hip replacements, so that might work for them. The big thing is, congratulations, Burton. We're now all going to have to wear leashes again. Good job. Yeah. So leash sales are going to spike. So some some hipster could probably start a leash company right now and corner the market, because there really isn't too much left anymore. So yeah, there's kind of my thoughts on the whole fucking Burton Stefan. They are dumping a shit ton of marketing into it, and we'll see where that goes from there. But like I said, I didn't get a chance to ride them. I saw them when they were in their prototype phase. I got an up close and personal with them. Got to play around with them. The concept works. It makes sense. It's better than what Switch had going on. It's better than what the old Burton Stefan system had. It's fucking way better than Clicker, because that shit was just whack as fuck. And it's kind of like, Clicker is like the E.T. Atari game for snowboarding. There's a whole landfill full of them up in Washington, like 800 and something thousand pairs. So I don't know why they didn't recycle them. That was kind of dumb, K2. Fucking disappointed in you. It's not cool. So yeah. And let's see. Oh, Dweezy! Yeah. You need to go check your Patreon because your card got declined. But anyways, you're asking about the 1.4K Battalion Surfer. If you want to buy a 1.4K Battalion Surfer and you have the money, good for you. You're probably the same guy that one time tried to pass me in your Ferrari on the way to Keystone, only to high center it in the parking lot. Why you needed to drive a Ferrari to a ski resort, I don't know. You're a fucking idiot if you buy something that expensive. So, yes, there's that. Does anyone else have any questions? Otherwise, I am jumping into another question from Johnny Starling from the Patreon. He made a comment about how we should monetize the question comment section on angrysnowboarder.com, since I answer about 1,000 questions a week. Yes, if I put a paywall on that, I will not get those questions. That's why the Patreon exists. If people want to donate, they totally can. I will have a link down below after this video is over. But other than that, putting a paywall on it is just too hard. I'd rather have passive income from the affiliates, as well as YouTube revenue, as well as Patreon. And you could always buy Angry Snowboarder shirts. I will have a link down to those. I will be dropping a video either later tonight or tomorrow talking about those on our YouTube channel. So that'll be out there for anything like that. And if you work at a snowboard company in the marketing department, please email Bruce at angrysnowboarder.com. We have great advertising packages. So that's a shameless plug right there. Okay. Ooh, Nick Stoller. What's your favorite fishtail board? Are you talking swallowtail, snubtail, powdertail, like little fishtail? There's a lot out there to describe this. If we're gonna go with like swallowtail, I would go with the Endeavor Arch type. That is my #1 powder board. Back in that thing, fucking 110%. I believe they're on sale right now on Evo. Or, Powdertail. Okay, so Powdertail. But yes, anyways, Endeavor Arch type, Swallowtail. You can get that on Evo right now, and I think Backcountry has it for sale as well. That's probably the way that's designed. It's not an aggressive Swallowtail, so the tail will sink, but you still get good float on it when you're on heavier snow, so you're not just like hydroplaning down and porpoising, basically with the board going like that. That one, if we're going with more like blunt tail powder thing, I really dig those almost flat with just minimal kicks powder boards. You see them on stuff like this, like the Simple Pleasures has this right here. So it's not an aggressive tip kick. It's kind of crescent moon shape. That is always a good one. But yeah, anything like that, anything that's just like short and stubby, allows you to sink, or if it's got like a minor swallowtail to it to allow it to float. So yeah, that's pretty much it for those. Now, let's see, what else do I have going on here? Oh, Matt B was asking, thoughts on the Canoe Jib Boards, like the box scratcher and headspace, since we've been talking about the spam for the last few live streams. I have a weird relationship with Canoe and LibTech, and some boards are great and some boards are crap. The Skate Banana is a pile of shit. If you ride the Skate Banana, you ride like shit. It's a board for people that can't snowboard, and yet they claim it's a jib board. It sucks dicks with its butthole. Big time. It's just getting fucked in the ass repeatedly. That thing sucks. With that said, like, the box scratcher is okay, but what I really found was an awesome board was the box knife. The camber, where the C3 version of the box scratcher with a blunt shape, you can really butter that board because the way the C3 ends, it gives you a sweet spot that allows you to lock in, do what you need to do with it, but you can still get snap and pop. Whereas the box scratcher, it's like you lean back, you lean forward, you're in a nose or a tail press, you can go sideways, it's not going to hook up. And on the Canoe side of things, actually, the Money, which I think is like a $380 board, they claim it's like an all-mountain board, but I would use it as a jib board, like a directional jib board, because it's got a little bit of setback to it. That thing it's money. It's pretty solid. The headspace, I really dug the headspace. It's right up there with the Yes Greats, the Lago Double Barrel. It's one of those boards where it's got a lot going on tech-wise in it, and it's got a great flex pattern that gives you good snap and pop, but you can still press it. It's kind of a quiver of one board, really. Excuse me. And it's just one of those decks that's super fun, super playful, and good like that. Overall, I mean, LibTech, well, Mervin in general, just has such a vast line, and there is so much fucking overlap in their boards. It gets to the point where you're like, I've ridden this board. They just called it this instead. And it's like, why? Why did you do that? It's not that great. But when the reviews come out, you'll see which ones I'm more hyped on and which ones I'm not. Which, speaking of the reviews, as of today, I am 75% back to what I lost. So that 1 terabyte of footage that I lost, I am 75% back to. I should have everything caught up to where I was right before I lost, so I'll be back to editing, hopefully by next Friday, and then the week after that, I'm going to be able to edit a few videos, but a week from this upcoming Wednesday, I am getting PKR surgery on my eyes, which is advanced LASIK. I'm basically going to be able to see because I'm blind as a fucking bat right now. So once I get through that surgery, it's about a 4 to 5 day recovery, and then I should be able to go and stare at a computer screen again and not be blinded. I'm going to be cranking those out, and hopefully it's going to take me like 2 weeks to get everything done. I want them done before Halloween. I want to be able to drop them. Then I'm going to do a 2-hour live stream. I'm going to get Kevin over here. I might even try to get TJ from Board Archive to come join us because he's definitely got some good input, and I rode a lot of boards that he rode. So I want to get all of us together and kind of just answer everyone's questions, see what we can do from there. So is that something you guys would be interested in? Ooh. Ben R is asking, did you get a chance to ride the Captain Warp Speed this year? I did. And, dear God, that thing is burly. Like, I mean, burly. That thing rode me hard, put me away wet, then came back and sucker punched me in the face. I got cock-slapped with that thing. I was like, oh, this thing won't be so bad. I'll take it in the trees. Sure. That was the biggest mistake I made. Pretty much fell down a ravine. I might have hit a tree or two with it. That's an aggressive board. It's a very, very aggressive board. So, yeah. I wrote it. Fuck it. You know what? Tomorrow I will post that up on the Patreon for all you guys that donate so you can see the early review of that. So there you go, Ben. Got that for you. And on another note, I will be shipping out the Sticker Club stickers early this week for everyone. So those will be coming out. I opened up 6 more slots on there for anyone that wants to donate. So for $7 a month, you get a couple stickers every month in there for you. So I'm now taking 6 more people on that as well. Okay. Let's see. I think I got another question over here from the Patreon people. Gotta see what we got going on here. No, actually, I think I'm all caught up on questions that people have. In another note, anyone that buys a Gilson snowboard should kill themselves. I'm a firm advocate in that company sucks. So if you're watching this, which I'm assuming people are, don't buy a Gilson snowboard. So, let's see, what else? Oh, some of you are probably seeing this wrapped up snowboard back here. There will be 10 hidden Easter eggs amongst the 247 videos for the product review series. If you can find, the first person that can find all 10 of these hidden Easter eggs and email them to info@angrysnowboarder.com will win this snowboard. It is a freeride board that has been discontinued. A lot of people really love this board. I don't know why. I hated it. But someone will win it. So, yes, there you go. It's a mystery gift right there from me. But there will be basically 10 clues. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do it. But you'll know it when you see it. I think it's going to probably involve John Cenacorn, which he had a little accident. So... love you, John, but got him stuffed and mounted. So, yeah. So, look for hints and clues from John Cenacorn on how to win that snowboard back there. Does anyone else have any other questions today? Let's see what else we got going on. And I know some of you have had questions about bindings. I'm sorry Kevin couldn't be here. His short-haired wiener probably needed to be taken care of. He's got this little short-haired wiener dog named Princess Artie or something like that. So hopefully I will do a live stream next week and I will get Kevin here for that. Really comes down to scheduling. I'm going to try to just really crank on some other video projects. Which, speaking of other video projects, Ben, my filmer, and I are putting together something very big in the same vein as Top Gear, the UK version back when it had Hammond, May, and Clarkson. Not that weird one with Matt LeBlanc and that other guy that sucked. Not doing that. Or the American version, which was god-awful. No, we're going with something like that. We will probably drop that next fall, but we are working on a project like that, which this is going to take some serious time in doing that. On another note, I know a lot of you have been stoked on the idea of us doing a retro board challenge. Yeah, I might have hit the mother lode the other day with a lot of really crappy stuff from brands that don't exist anymore for dirt cheap. So we will probably start filming that probably in December, January. And I know that Kevin is down to do that. And we will probably have a bunch of different random guests on that little video edit as well. And going along with that, Ben and I are also working on an hour-long snowboard show for you guys. It's going to be a little more polished, a little weird. Think like adultswim.com. So we got that going on. And that's pretty much what we've really got going on for us over here. And, you know, we're about a week away from snowboarding, so it'll be great. I will probably shoot a video from Opening Day Basin so we can watch all the fucking idiots that bought brand new gear hit rocks. Because that's probably one of the best things ever. I'm thinking about interviewing people in the lift lines and just asking them really fucked up questions. Ooh. Ilya Fedorov. Any new 2018 boards that carve really well? Yes. Oh God, yes. I actually created a segment for the product review series around carving boards this year. So there's a fuck ton of boards that carve. The Canoe Zoid is one that really comes to mind. You can get it in goofy or regular. It's asymmetrical. It's directional asymmetrical, which is really weird. And that board's really fun. The stuff from Moss Snow Sticks, which they designed their whole concept of boards around snow surfing, which is big swooping turns, tight carves, slashing pow, but you know, using the whole mountain kind of as like a banked run and stuff. I rode 6 of their boards. You will see reviews for that. Canoe has the OG Carver, which is a Swallowtail. It's kind of a throwback design. That was a fun board. And then the Canoe Ganuru, I'm pretty sure they actually sent me one that was built wrong. I don't think it was supposed to be this stiff, but I did a full loop carve on my heels on the Ganuru. In 20 plus years of snowboarding, I've never been able to get a full loop on my heels. Toes is easy as hell, but heels to leverage it like that, I couldn't believe it. So that board was really crazy with its side cut and everything. Super fun, just super aggressive. But I think the flex pattern was off. I think it had like the T-Rice Climax core in it or something. So that was a board that you could really carve on. Nitro has a whole series called the Carving Crew, and I rode the wood carver from them. That was another board you could really lay some trenches with, do a bunch of stuff. That was super fun. That was just another one that was super, super fun to go out and really drive and test that thing as well. Ooh, Marco, did I get to test any Gentum sticks? No, unfortunately, them and Karua fell through. But I'm going to try to get some of those probably November, December when we get a little more terrain open. I've got to talk to Nicholas Wolkin from Kuroa, and I think I have a contact for Gentum Stick. If not, I know their factory manager is a friend of mine, so he might actually have some designs, like prototype stuff, and he'll just tell me what board it is and send it to me. So I got to see if I can get that. But the cool story with Moss Snow Sticks, and I don't know if a lot of people know this, but Gentum was started because Taro Tamai actually rode for Moss, and then he broke off and was doing his own thing. And you can see the influence that Moss had on Gentum sticks. So I will definitely be trying to get some of those. I do know that the Weston Japao is the same mold and shape and everything as a Gentum stick, and I did ride that, and holy fuck, that thing was amazing. I got it out in like a 14-inch day at A Basin. I was dropping a bunch of cliffs with it, which normally with a swallowtail like that, the tails are super spongy and kind of wash out. I think that board, I know that board really didn't wash out. I sent it through a mogul field after dropping like a 12-foot cliff and just pointed it. And that board was super damp, and then hit this giant bank turn just full of pow and just did this big swooping carve and just left this huge spray. And that was just amazing. So there's that. But I'm going to try to get on more of those Snow Surfer boards. I really, really want to try to get some of the TJ brand stuff from Japan. They have really unique shapes. Those boards just look phenomenal. I saw them at Parts and Labor in January. They don't have a distributor. I don't know how I would make it happen, but if I could, I will try to get those. Ooh, Lexa A. Do you think the now binding skate tech makes it superior than traditional bindings in all aspects? No. I think it has benefits, but I also think that a traditional binding has benefits. There's certain things that the Now Tech is great for, and you notice how it steers and how you drive the board differently. It's more ankle flexion, but at the same time, I also noticed that after a full day on that, my ankles would be a little more tore up. It's kind of like riding in a bowl on a skateboard with super loose trucks. And you notice that the one thing I really loved about it was how much torque I could put into my toe side edge, especially if I was trying to pop off my toes. I could just drive that board and snap more off my toes. It was just like a little added pop. But I like them, and I think they have their place. But I also think the traditional bindings have their place as well. Now is doing something completely revolutionary, and it's amazing. But you also see like how far bindings have come in just the last 8 years. And whenever I go what I call resort antiquing, which is pretty much preseason when you see people riding ancient ass shit, and I'm like, oh, I own that binding in 98, and I had that binding in 99, and that one in 01. And then you look in like the last, like even the last 4 years, and you're like, holy shit, you can see the leaps and bounds and how they've shrank the disc size down, how they're using more impact foam and stuff on bindings. It's great. So now definitely has a great thing going, and it's absolutely amazing, but it's not the end all be all. I mean, some people just like a flat binding that sits flat on their board. I like it. It works for me. I've been snowboarding since the mid-90s for at least 100 days a year every year. I got my first snowboard in 87, so got that going on. Yeah, so, all right. Does anyone else have any other questions, concerns, comments, want to shit talk? I'm really surprised we didn't get more trolls on a Saturday. So, yeah. Let's see. Also working on a video series about snowboard boot fit and custom boot fitting solutions too. I know I've mentioned this in other videos, but I love getting your guys' feedback. Like, what do you need for videos like that? Like, what are your problems with boot fitting? I have over 10 years custom boot fitting experience. I basically am an uncertified master fit because I refuse to give a company $350 for a fucking piece of paper that says I'm a master fit, even though I can do all the exact same shit they do, and I've done it forever. So I really want to get some more videos out there with that type of stuff. I've filmed a lot of stuff for it. It's just sitting down, editing it, working on other projects. I mean, right now the big thing obviously is finishing the fucking product review series. Ooh, Riley, not sure if I missed it, but thoughts on the Canoe Swallowtail Carver. Okay, so that board is super fucking fun. It's soft. It's like way softer than you would think for something that they claim is like an OG board. But with the C2 profile in there, you can really center flex that board and independently steer it. And it's a board that if you really want to dig in your heel edge and get low and have your front arm out while you're coming around, you can do that. It's kind of like an attack banana in a directional shape, if that makes sense. It's a different ride. I had a lot of fun when I took it out. It was super buttery, which was really crazy, like just popping butters and then going into carves with it. I took it out on a sunny bluebird morning at the basin, and shit was boilerplate when I got up there. It reminded me of riding the East, and that magnet traction gripped really well. And then when it started to soften up and become perfect hero snow, which I got so lucky, there was next to no one there. There was just some douchebag hard booters, and this guy kept trying to lay Euro carves on his hard boots, and he couldn't do it. I laid carves around him the whole way down the run on that thing. You can just drag your nipples and armpit on the ground on that thing, and it'll spring right back up. It's a specialized deck. It's not like a daily driver. That's something that, like, if I owned one, I'd probably ride it 10 days a year, maybe. You know, it'd be like a preseason fuck around. The resort just opened. I got one run. I'm just dicking around, carve, and get my legs under me type of board. Or it'd be like in the postseason when it's super slushy. Maybe I'm doing some pond skims, like, you know, shit like that. That's kind of where that board falls in. But it's got decent snap to it. It's not overpowering snap, and you got enough center flex to it so you can really guide it through the turns and everything. I think it's a novelty board. It's not like I'm gonna rush out and buy it just to add to my quiver. It's kind of like I'm at a demo in Canoe's there, and I want to go have some fucking fun. I'm gonna go like fill out the paperwork and go demo that for a day and have fun type of board. You know, it's That's cool, but that's kind of where it's at. So, yeah, that's pretty much what we got going on there. Lexa A, do you think edge tech really helps on icy conditions? Are all edge tech on par with each other in your opinion? No. No, they are not. So, I owned one of the first, I think they were like 120 of them, Dark Series from LibTech with Magna Traction. And, dear God, that thing was like the serrations were obscene. That thing would lock into a turn and you weren't coming out of it. You had to ride it as far out as you could. And things have changed. And if you go and you look at different companies that license, I use that term loosely, Magna Traction from LibTech, or they have their own version of traction bumps, you can see the difference in them putting them side by side. The serrations, some are really deep, some are mellow, some are aggressive in the middle, some aren't. The big thing is when those bumps match the side cut and the radiuses of the side cut, and it ends up being right under the reference points on a board for where the contact points are. So you want to make sure you have that, because especially on a reverse camber board, a radial side cut on a reverse camber board is death. That's just you're dead. That's it. You hit ice, you're fucked. You're dead. So you want that on a reverse camber board because you steer underfoot. You don't steer out at the contact points because you're not weighting the camber and driving it out to do it. And I realize I talk with my hands, so I'm probably distracting. But it's one of those things. And Mervin has toned theirs down over the years. Like if you go and look from generation 1 to the generation now that they have, you can see that it's mellowed out and mellowed out. And I used to say years and years ago that Smokin made better Magna Traction than Mervin, and Jay was hand bending them. He was eyeballing it and hand bending them and matching them to the boards, and they would ride better. They would grip better, but you weren't locked into the carve. Now, you go and you look at a board like the Niche Story, you can spot the serrations in that board from 100 feet away. You're like, wow, that board doesn't look right because it's just like this right between the feet. And when you're center flexing that board, it just digs in and that's it. Versus, let's say you were riding like a LibTech Attack Banana or something like that, or even something with C3 like the Canoe head case. The board will grip. It will dig in better on ice, but it doesn't lock you in. It doesn't force you to be in there. And then going back to another point, when you look at Arbor and their grip tech, if you look at the contact points, they're right under the insert packs, right where you need that to steer. And that's a huge thing. And the new thing that you're seeing, like a lot of companies like Capita, yes, they're doing it. There's the mid contact point in the side cut. You really have to eyeball it to see where that actually is. It really doesn't do fuck all for you, to be honest. My boss at my day job has a slash with one. He got pissed off at it, so he just took the board to the edging thing at the shop and just ground it right out. Gone. It's like, I didn't need it. And because it really didn't do anything. He would just notice it on ice, like chinking it, and he would just like be like skipping and shit. So not all edge techs are the same. Some are better than others. Some of the licensed tech is even better than the original tech that it comes from. The big thing with ice, I grew up in New York. This is like straight boilerplate, lake effect snow, south of Buffalo, New York. The big thing with edges, and this is something we always did, was we would bevel our edges, and we would do like a 1 or a 2 degree base bevel, but nothing on the sides, so it would have like an off angle on there, but we'd keep those things razor sharp. Hitting rails, who gives a shit? You're sharpening your edges at the end of the night when you're in the tune shop. You would just keep those edges as sharp as you could. And that's the big thing with ice, is like sharper the edge, the better it's going to cut and dig in. So yeah, hopefully that answers your questions, Lexa. So yeah, but to go with that, and don't ever ride a reverse camber board with a radial side cut. Just don't. It's bad. And if I see you do that, I'm going to push you over, and you're probably never going to get up. You're going to be like a turtle on your back. Like, So, yeah. That's kind of what I got going on with that one, at least. Yes, that was a perfect shout-out to the East Coast. Thank you, Holiday Valley, for making me a stronger rider and taking my spleen in 2002. If anyone finds my spleen, I would gladly like it back, because it sucks not having one. Oh, Ilya's asking, you get any stuff from your companies this year? No. I think Rossignol was the only one, and that's because they've got their U.S. base in Park City. I was supposed to get Canoe, I didn't. I'm going to try for that. I do know I will be getting Nidecker. Greg, I think he's the head of U.S. sales for Nidecker, lives in Denver. He's a friend of mine. He owes me some favors. I am basically going to pillage his whole demo fleet. I might even try to take out some of the carving boards, like the hard boot ones, and just put a soft boot setup on it, because why the fuck not? But there's a shit ton of European brands that I would love to get. I would love to get Amplid back in the review series. Their boards are phenomenal. I actually have a Pillow Talk. It's on its last legs. When that thing breaks, I'm going to cry. That's probably my favorite powder twin of all time, and I've ridden a lot. So for me to say that is huge. There's a few other brands from over there that I've got my eye on. I would really like to try out that West brand, as well as Vimana out of Norway. But the big thing is like shipping costs have gone up, and if they don't have a U.S. distributor, it kind of sucks. This year it's not in the cards for me to get over to Europe, but if I can get over to Europe in 2019, well, maybe I can get over in 2018, but I doubt it. It'll probably be like 2019. I'm going to just rape and pillage every freaking snowboard brand I possibly can find over there that will give me boards. I am trying to get Head as well, but I don't know if they're a U.S. brand or European or whatever the fuck they are. I know they have an office in Boulder, I believe, so I'm going to see what I can do with them. Yeah. I'm not riding an F2. The company's out of business. So, yeah. Anyways, guys. Ooh, Marco, where would I go in Euroland? Well, I've got family in France, so I would probably fly to Paris and go see them. And then I'd like to check out Chamonix. And then I would love to get up into the Pyrenees, check that out as well. Maybe head over into the Dolomites, Northern Europe. Basically, if I go, I want to avoid anything that Vail touches, because I'm banned for life from Vail and they suck. But I would love to get over and do that. And Norway is on my list. I've got a lot of friends that live in Norway that I haven't seen in years, because they all got married and became fat and had kids, but they don't come over here to snowboard anymore. But I would love to go see those guys and get up there, check them out. Norway definitely is on my list, even though everyone tells me it's crap. I just love to go over for like 2-3 weeks and just ride a train all around Europe and just hit all the different mountains, and maybe meet up with some of you Euro guys that are out there that follow whatever the fuck I do over here. So yeah, that's kind of where I would go in Euroland, at least. I seriously can't believe we didn't get a troll this week. So funny last time when we got trolled. I blame Kevin for that. But yeah, anyways, guys, I'm going to pull the plug on this and get out of here. I got a few more videos to film tonight. Just did product review series, but I'm going to start filming the meat and the potatoes, like everything that I need. And hopefully 2.5 weeks, I will have everything up and running. And like I said, I'm going to try to get TJ over here. I'm going to try to get Kevin, try to get us all together, do a live stream some night, have us answer all your guys' questions, maybe have us debate topics, stuff like that. So if that's something you want to see, make sure you hit up Board Archive, complain to TJ about that, get on the Snowboard Pro Camp channel when he's doing his live chats at 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Times on Mondays, and just tell him that you want him to come do this with me. Like, we do this for you guys, so if you demand it, he'll do it. I know he will. And from there on out, we'll see. I'm going to try to do another live stream next weekend, so hopefully I'll see some of you guys then. Probably do it on Friday, though, because I don't know how I feel about Saturday. I have to compete with sports ball.